My traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, the dawn is breaking on the stage that holds our final destiny. And so my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, don't dream it, be it. Because the show must go on. And on today's episode, we have somebody, it is either y'all or somebody that you know, is going through something with their health. Now, that could be physical, mental, emotional, something. And I don't know what level of the spectrum that we're on right now, but what it seems like is like someone's looking to take charge of their health. Like they are attempting to do what they have agency over, right? Because I don't, like, if we're dealing with a chronic health issue, there's like management and stuff like that. For some people, yes, you can like come out of a particular health issue like entirely, but like, I don't know what we're dealing with. But there's something in I am taking charge of my health in the ways that I am able. There's something going on there that is an issue. And it might be a mentality thing, like believing that like, if I just think positively, this is going to like completely go away and I'm going to be completely like healthy, especially if we're talking about something like mental health and chronic mental health like that. Like positive thinking is great, but if you are dealing with severe clinical and chronic depression, no, you can't just positive thought your way out of that. You need some other skills, and depending on the time and perhaps for the rest of your life, that's something for an expert, a medical expert, to tell you about and to work with you on. Perhaps either temporarily you're on medications or for the rest of your life you're on medications. It's different from person to person, but there's something about this, like creating a structure to deal with whatever issue this is, that is, I don't know that it's the most helpful. And it could be something like that. Like if we're dealing with something that's like an actual disability, it's someone feeling like they can just bootstrap their way out of like a disability. Or feeling like because I have this disability or this mental health thing, I need to work like 85 billion times harder. And they're like exhausting themselves trying to live up to an expectation that is simply not theirs and that no one, including themselves, like should be holding them to. Or it could be something like, if we're talking about substance use, and someone feels like they have substance use disorder, they might be like going the route of something like the anonymouses, right? Like the groups. And the thing is, that can be helpful, but like a lot, like just based on my own, like I'm not, like I don't have issues with substances, but there is also, if you don't know this, there is also an Overeaters Anonymous. And people hear that and they tend to think that it is for fat people. It's like I said, a lot of this stuff like within that realm is so dated and so archaic. Overeaters Anonymous is for people who are dealing with EDs of any sort. Okay, and so that is my background. Okay, I have dealt with restrictive EDs like ANA, all that. Okay, and so at one point I was supporting a friend, and I was interested in those groups anyway because I was still dealing with like minor issues. And so I thought that like in supporting a friend of mine at the time with like getting involved with this stuff, it would be like beneficial for us both. And then when I went, I was just like, oh my God, like, because I'm not someone who has a problem like talking about Jesus and like all of that stuff, but the type of language that is being used in some of those groups for me, it was off-putting for me. And I am someone who is very open to like even very traditional forms of faith, depending on how that is looking, right? Because I'm for it up to a point where you're trying to say like queer people are evil. Well, you've lost me, right? Like I'm never, like it's not happening. Cancel, flop era. And there are churches who don't do that, by the way. But what I'm saying is, I can hear a lot of that traditional stuff, and because I don't have religious trauma, that's not ever been something that I've had to deal with, it won't bother, like I can hear all of it, it's not triggering me or anything like that. When I was in that group, I was like, this is off-putting. I don't like this. And if it's me, it's like there's a problem here. And so when you hear people, if you've never been and you hear people talking about like the Anonymouses are like a cult, that's the reason why. It's typically, it's like way more in the literature, and it can be in the groups as well. It's kind of like, it almost depends on what type of group you have. But I was very like, I did not remain because it wasn't the right space for me to be in anyway. But it could be like, if you are someone who is pursuing some like supplementary treatment like that, pay attention to the language that's being used around you. Like, is it shame-based? Like, because when you get into that traditional, like, religious stuff, like, there's just stuff in it that's very, like, I'm serious, you will never catch me. I was sitting there in one of those groups, and you're all sitting in a circle. First of all, sitting in a circle, and I know some people aren't gonna like this language, but when you are sitting in a circle with other people, and especially there's like a spiritual component, that's, you are manifesting, that is a mastermind group, that is a coven. Sitting in a circle and like saying, and like sharing this very personal stuff with people, and you are saying the same things over and over and over, because within the Anonymouses, at least the one that I was in, you would open a particular way, you were saying particular things every single time. And so when you have people sitting in a circle affirming to themselves in the circle over and over and over again that I am this, I have no power, I don't have it, and it's just like, absolutely, I'm out of here. No, I will not say that in a circle. No, I will not affirm that to you. I believe in recognizing something about yourself, but I'm not going to tell you that that's all you're ever going to be, because it's not true. Neuroplasticity is a thing, and it's also up to that person to decide. And so I don't believe in sitting in circles in groups affirming to yourself over and over and over again that you have no power over whatever it is. You have agency. Yes, you do. Yes, you can change yourself significantly in that way. And maybe you do have to live a sober lifestyle for the rest of your life. I don't know. But I think that ultimately that it is harmful. It like keeps you in one position for the rest of your life. That is black magic. And so, like that, the highest curse, the worst curse that you can place upon anyone, if anyone ever says this to you, think about your associations with them. They will tell you, oh, such and such, never change. That is black magic. There are like some super high forms of black magic. That's one of them. There's another one that's involved with Christianity that I'm not going to get into today, but I'm just saying, as far as something health-wise goes, pay attention to the spaces that you're in and what you're saying to yourself and to other people over and over and over again, and how you are being treated. Because especially with the mental health stuff and the substance use stuff, like, a lot of people, even within the healthcare environment, they have complete and utter disdain for anybody that's going through any of that, depending on where you are, unless you are with a very, very specialized center. But if you're just in a hospital, oh, garbage. Garbage, for the most part. And people get surprised because they think like doctors should just know. No, they do not have that specialization, especially the mental health and especially the nutrition stuff. Regular hospital, forget about it. Forget about it. You need to be at a specialized treatment center for what you are dealing with, mental health wise, nutrition wise, whatever. So there's something, now that I've gone off about that for a while, this is kind of what we're dealing with. It could be something as extreme as that. It could be something as simple as, I would like to, for my own health, happiness, aesthetic purposes, shift my weight up or down. And the mentality that you have surrounding that, I don't know, is the healthiest, right? Like we could be doing some extreme things that ultimately aren't good for your health overall. So, okay, so that's what is kind of going on here. Let me go ahead and pull out the tarot, because the switch in the reads is that I kind of get out the general energies first, so that I can say on today's episode and then kind of talk about the general energy, and then we get into the details together. So I'm just, what you're going to see me doing is pulling the tarot and clarifiers on camera. Before I am starting to record, I have already pulled like the oracles and looked at the bottom of the deck. So let's look at, okay, this is something that has like, whatever this is, the health concern, whatever's going on here, it has like isolated you or another person from the community. This is isolating you. It also might be affecting your finances, your stress. And there might be someone enabling this. I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh, Lord. What's going on over here? All right. If you're waiting on a test result, like you might get some numbers back or your doctor's telling you, oh, like, I don't know about this. Like, we need to start thinking about this. There's some information that you're perhaps getting about a health status that perhaps is concerning to you. What is being asked of you is just don't panic. Don't panic. It's okay. But it's sort of like also if you're waiting on something, because I have this Three of Wands here. If you're waiting on something and you're like stressed out about it, like super ruminating on it, if you can, try to let that go, because it's not going to affect your outcome one way or the other. And it's not doing anything. Like, I can tell you that, but I mean, if you struggle with anxiety, like, I mean, you know, I'm just saying, if you can catch yourself in the rumination and stop it, try to. It's sort of like trust the situation. This is also if you already know that something is going on with your health, that you're like, oh my gosh, it's sort of like this is planning for the future, having an action plan. So it seems like in general, if you or someone else around you is already aware of this information, this is suggesting that there is some sort of productive action plan in place. And it's just sort of like, if you are experiencing high anxiety about this, try to let some of that go with that trust card. Yeah, what did I say? Somebody's stressing out here. I don't know if it's you or if it's someone else, but what we have here, this is interesting. I have opportunity with a wealthy man with this Nine of Swords. I don't know, like, let's just say, like, maybe you're looking at something, you're like, I really need like this sort of treatment, but I can't afford it, and you're stressed out about it, or someone around you is, you might have help from someone, like monetarily, like with your issue. Opportunity, wealthy man. We'll look, because I don't know. Right, okay. Yes, all right, so it's up to you and despair. We have the Star with this. It's sort of like healing can be a choice, depending on what we're talking about. It's sort of like, especially with mental health stuff, that is a process. And while some of it, yes, does involve or can involve medication and therapy and very, very structured things, depending on what the mental health issue is, there are just basic lifestyle things. Getting outside, walking around, having some sort of regular social interaction. Some form, depending on what you have access to, some form of looking at your nutrition. Are you only like, because I mean, this is just kind of across the board for everybody, but not people with like, do you know that you struggle with really extreme anxiety, but like you're living off of sugar-free Red Bull and like Starbucks with no water? Like, I'm just talking about the caffeine with that. I'm not talking about like, that is generally devoid of like adequate nutrition, right? Except like if you're having like milk in the Starbucks, then like you're getting some calcium and fats or whatever. But predominantly that is sugar and caffeine. And it is not doing anything for your anxiety. So that's what I mean by, what choices are we making that will enhance our quality of life and what will detract from it. And some of that stuff gets a little bit like, oh, like it's a pro-con thing because, you know, maybe it's your emotional support Starbucks. But the thing is, here's the thing with that. Do you want the emotional support Starbucks, or would you like to be living a lifestyle where you no longer need an emotional support Starbucks because you simply don't need that anymore? Like it's like a short-term versus long-term thing. So for some of this, it's like, yeah, things are going to get a little bit more intense in the short term for the beneficial long-term result. Or like, depending on your choices, you can stick with those short-term kind of copes, but in the long term, we're going to end up here, okay? Because no, like just not having any water and living off of Starbucks and energy drinks, that is just not, because I'm not going to argue it. It's not good for your physical health nor your mental health. I'm not saying you can never have those things, but you know, it's about balance. I would say though, get off the energy. Like, I will just go ahead and say, like, just as someone who has drunk energy drinks, and has like in the depths of the ANA, right? That was like black coffee and sugar-free Red Bull, babe. That's what was getting us through the day. I'm gonna go ahead and say, just energy drinks in general are just unhealthy. They are like the cigarette of the drink industry. I won't go, like, I'm not gonna say that about coffee or whatever, but an energy drink, garbage. If you can get rid of that, just get rid of it. Just do. Because like, I'm not like kind of an anti like soda or anything person, but energy drinks, yeah, toss it. It's not doing anything for you. Toss it. If you're able. So all right. So something's going on here. Let's get some more information about what our message of concern is. First, this is a very different style of read. And I'm still not sure if I'm directly talking to, like, this is something for the viewer, or if it's something for someone like around the viewer, like someone that you know. I'm not sure. So if you're like, I'm not dealing with anything health-wise, but you're still feeling like compelled to watch the read, I guess, it might be someone around you. It might be someone around you in your social circle, okay? But what I see here, message of concern, this is about like, it's something somebody's drinking or taking in. And it's like socially, like, are you socially drinking too much? Like, it's just, this is something about like, are you partying too much? Are you going out too much? Do you have like zero structure in your life? And here's the thing, there are some people who do in fact thrive that way, but like, maybe not you, okay? So you might be like, well, these people are doing okay. Okay, but you're not, okay? You're not that. So if you are over here in the despair, okay, and in the bad health, go ahead and look at your habits and just start playing around with stuff, okay? You, like, unless you're like, literally there's something lethal going on, which I am not getting that whatsoever, you have plenty of time to play around with this stuff. You do not have to get anything perfect. I don't know if this is something somebody doesn't want to tell you or tell somebody. There's like something that somebody knows. It might be like a friend of yours. It's like they don't want to tell you. Or you don't want to tell somebody what's going on with you. It's like, no, because I've got this 3 of Cups, 6 of Cups, 4 of Coins. With this is on the message of concern. And it's kind of like, I don't want to admit to somebody what's going on here. And that's something like with this trust, like there's something like, why, this is either the viewer or somebody the viewer knows, why don't they want to say anything? This is a pride thing. there's something going on with somebody's health. Either it's you and you don't want to tell somebody, you don't want to admit to it, or this is somebody around you does not want you to know what's going on with them. 5 of Coins, I don't know if they think that you won't be friends with them anymore, or you'll judge them, or it's just an issue of they don't want you to know. It's somebody in the community, okay? King of Cups, 10 of Coins. This is somebody you know. It could be a family member as well. They don't want you to know what's going on. What's this 3 of Wands? Or it's you. Then whatever this is got to be something relatively serious and something that would have like a sense of shame around it, at least for this person. And I haven't seen any wands here, like I'm not really getting something that is a result of something maybe more carnal. But when we start getting into the more serious health concerns for that, like stuff that you're going to be dealing with for the rest of your life, for people, that comes with a lot of shame and a lot of stigma. And they start feeling like they're not going to be able to like get into relationships anymore. And it's not like, it's depending, it's not. It's just because like, it's sort of like within the public, like people will sort of treat STDs, STIs, like in this kind of like cavalier way. And they'll like joke about it and whatever. But then when they're like one-on-one, when they actually know somebody, like they're not going to behave in that way. At least that's from what I've seen. Like when someone's actually coming to somebody, they're like, oh wait, no, like it's like, I don't know. It's just a weird, like, it's like the way something is treated socially versus the way that it is actually handled interpersonally seems to be quite different. So what is, well, someone's like somebody has stepped back, and I think they do have an action plan, at least for themselves, but it seems like someone's like going back and forth saying like King of Cups, Queen of Cups. This is like a close friend. It is a sibling. I don't know that it's a partner or not. Like it could be a former partner with that 6 of Cups. I don't know, but it's this King of Cups, like very much wants to talk to whoever this Queen of Cups is, but it's like they also don't want to at all. So yeah, so they're stuck, like 2 of Wands. So this person doesn't, they're kind of hovering because they don't want to tell, like they don't want to tell this person about their health status or something that happened to them. I don't know, but it's like a pride thing. It's a shame thing. This person is ashamed. And this position that they're currently in right now, that withholding, that 4 of Coins, when it's showing up like this is what creates like problems in the energy. That's a problem with flow, because the holding, like keeping secrets like this is very painful. And that's a lot of like problems that come out of trauma, is that people don't want to talk about it because they're ashamed to talk about it. And so they hold it all in, and it creates the problem in the energy that tends to manifest long-term as like sickness. But it's like a stress-induced sickness, but that will become a physical illness. I'm not just talking about mental health. Long-term with stress, yes, that will eventually turn into something, or can turn into something like cancer. It can turn into something like a heart attack or a stroke. But you're talking about decades. You're not talking about a week or a month, okay? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like the manifestation, I'm stressed out, therefore I'm getting cancer. It's like, no, that's not how that works. It takes a very, very long time for that stuff to manifest. And that's why I am saying, if in any way you can de-escalate your anxiety over the situation, if it is you, or if you're listening to this and this is someone in your area that you sense that this is going on with, but also you maybe have an issue with anxiety, then that's the part that may be for you. All right, who is this wealthy man? The wealthy man is the Nine of Pentacles. Well, that's a wealthy person. Wealthy person, Nine of Pentacles. That doesn't kind of tell me who that person is. They just reiterated the wealthy man is, in fact, wealthy. But who is this, though? Ah, the person keeping the secret. Okay, so the wealthy man is the person who doesn't want to talk. All right, what is the opportunity? They have, this is striking me as money, Six of Coins, opportunity, an opportunity to give. They have an opportunity to like transform some type of situation. It could be their own, because Ace of Cups, death, that's like mega healing. Oh my God, you know what? This person like might be like so at the end of their rope with whatever this is that they're literally like considering donating. You know how those televangelists will be like, you need to sow a seed and like you'll get healing if you send me like $5. Don't, like, that's not true. Don't do that. But this person may literally be like up at night watching late night TV and they're like, I need to send this person $5. If you're watching this and you are this person, don't send that man $5. He's just looking to buy a jet off of your issue that you need actual help. Like, no, please. Do not, this is, the Emperor. So this is like a, what is going on here? Emperor, Strength. Lovers, Knight of Cups. This person is struggling to make a decision, but I do believe with this Queen of Cups, it's like, this is somebody not wanting to tell their partner something. I'm telling you, this is like has got to be someone's partner, someone's husband, or long-term partner. It's got to be someone's brother, someone's sibling, like, well, brother, sibling, or like a very close friend. This is someone you would be very close with. And they're trying to decide like whether or not to like reach out for help, like reach out and touch faith. I'm telling you, this person is like in a way where they're like wanting to like call into like the, like some sort of podcast, or like, I'm telling you, it's something like that. Like they're willing to go on the air with someone anonymously to just speak about this rather than like go to like their actual family or like friends or something. But like this person does have the opportunity to either like heal themselves or like this, if it is involving another person, like it's almost like also this person in their anxiety, it's sort of like they know they need to be strong enough to like talk to another person, either that they care about or that's saying like you need to go to the doctor. Like you actually need to go talk to a doctor or a therapist, like someone who can actually like support you. This person already knows this. And so it's saying it's up to you, like despair the star. I'm just going to look at that as one energy at the moment. So we got somebody in a way. Okay, so the star, and that's that healing. So the healing is on the board, but again, it's up to them. Are they just going to sit in? Because if they just choose to sit there, then yeah, like it's not going to get any better. Like you actually have to do the thing that you know you need to do. So the star, the King of Swords, this person already knows, is the thing. The King of Swords already knows. I don't know, because this King of Swords looks very determined. I don't know if they're going to like boss up on themselves and kind of like, because in this sort of stuff, like while you don't like bootstraps yourself out of entire situations in general, there are outliers where yes, you can do that. Typically, stuff like this, especially if it's a mental health thing, there is an element of personal like discipline with some of this stuff that you work up to. You don't just beat up on yourself, right? But You gently encourage yourself into these habits. That's the personal bootstrapping. So yes, in order to go talk to someone, it's like no one can force you to do that. You have to have that, a little bit of the bootstraps, and go talk to whoever you need to talk to. Or else sit in whatever. Or deal with the health condition and it deteriorating. Like there's just kind of, that's what's gonna happen. King of Swords, Nine of Cups. I don't know if that's a positive Nine of Cups yet. Six of Swords. No, it's not. This person, King of Swords, Nine of Cups, Six of Swords, Nine of Swords. It's like this person is in a loop, and I'm getting ready to dip out of this because, I see this person knows what they have to do. And I see this person going, like, kind of entrenched, right? Like, no, I'm right. Or like, this is like when I said, like, we had the Knight of Swords mixed with the Nine of Cups. This energy, like the swords, like the Page of Swords, Queen of Swords, Knight of Swords, King of Swords, mixed with the Nine of Cups in this sort of environment, cunt. That's what that is. This person is sitting back in that energy, just going like, bleh, and like they're like, I don't need to worry about this. I'm just going to keep on keeping on. And then they're right back where they are. And so, especially with this energy. So, I am going to ask, because now I'm just a bit like, I don't know that we need to be sitting in this any longer, because this is this person's own doing. And they need to do whatever it is that they need to do, or not do whatever it is they need to do, and they need to stop bothering everybody else in the energy. So what is the most constructive thing that we can take from this read? The most constructive thing that we can take from this read... Okay, well, there's somebody else. We have a Queen of Swords here. Queen of Swords, Ace of Wands, Seven of Cups, Nine of Wands. If you know this person, this is, oh my God, this is so intensely irritating. I'm going to ask, does this person know what they're doing? Is this intentional? I think so. I'm going to pull one more. Yeah, they know. Oh my God. The most constructive thing that you can take from this read is understand if this is this kind of message or like this inclination is showing up for you quite strongly in your own energy, and you kind of know who I'm talking about. This person is doing this intentionally. Like sending this energy, they are intentionally, because they have, okay, because this person is very close to you, or was at one point, okay? Because I have this Queen of Swords here, and I had the King of Swords. This is someone you would be estranged from no matter who it is. But like I said, this would have been a family member, a very, very close friend, or it's a partner, a past partner, past spouse. Because this person had such an intimate bond with you, they can exploit that bond, especially if it's family. And if they are aware about how to do that energetically or magically, and it doesn't take that much investigation and research about how to do that. It's a very simple thing to communicate with people that way, because it's just directed thought with intention behind it. This person, instead of communicating to you, they are like sending you telepathic, they're sending you energy communication intentionally, so they don't have to come to you directly. They are trying to, what are they ultimately trying to do with this? But I got like the Moon, and the Three of Swords, it's because they do not want this Three of Swords. They don't want to be fully conscious of whatever it is that they've done, or they do not want you to be fully conscious of like what they did or are doing, or whatever they're doing it this way, like in the energy. So they're not coming to you directly, but they're like trying to send you this message to ultimately what end? Five of Cups, Seven of Coins, Three of Wands. This is sort of like a kid on their bike, right? And they fall over on the bike and skin their knee and they start crying, and like they're not in a way where they couldn't stand up and walk inside the house or whatever to get like their, I don't know, Neosporin, or like, it's not a serious thing, right? But instead of that, they're just gonna like cry louder so that somebody comes to them. So this person is gonna cry until something happens, but they're just gonna be left standing there, crying, likely. I'll go around one more time, but it's just like, I'm going to cry out into the ether loud. Like, I know you hear me, and like, y'all are just kind of like, yeah, I hear you. I don't give a shit though. I don't know that this person thought like, oh yeah, they're going to cry for mom. Mom. Y'all could be this person's actual mom. I don't know. But if you're not, and this is particularly like a former partner, or like I said, somebody, like even if it's a sibling or someone or a friend, it's like they want the enabler. Like that's what that mom energy is. Like, come, like I've hurt myself again, come take care of me. Okay, but you're 40 years old. Whatever they're just gonna sit and like wait, and the disaster is incoming quickly for them. Whatever that tower is, like I don't know what they think. The devil. Yeah, like instead of taking whatever necessary action, and I don't even know that this action for whatever this is even involves y'all, is what I'm telling you. This person, whoever they are, has gotten themselves into some kind of a situation. It's a situation that they know is going to happen or is going on, and they're kind of like, within their own lives, they're not doing anything at all except like crying out into the ether for someone who's not involved to come and save them from what they did to themselves. While also, like, we're still, like, I don't know if we're still at the point where like this person can still take action. There are things that this person can do all on their own to like either mitigate, contend with, or like stop something, that tower, devil, whatever it is. They're not doing that. They're just sitting there and crying out in the energy. What is this tower devil? It's someone else. Queen of Wands. I'll get two more on it. Chariot. We have two. Knight of Wands, Six of Wands. Whoever that Queen of Wands is to this person, they are integral in this tower devil. Queen of Wands with the Chariot, that's like a very aggressive party. It's like, that's with the Knight of Wands, that's like anger. It is sexually aggressive. It's possessive. What's that Six of Wands? But it's striking me because the Six of Wands is kind of mirroring this Chariot. It's like, I'm in charge. It's like a very like magician. I was going to say like cop or like controlling magician. It's a very like I'm saying it's a bully, but it's someone who's like, I run this. You think you're going somewhere? Let me tell you something about yourself. And like, it's all mixed together with like sexuality. It's and that's a let me ask about this because I just had something come into my mind, but I want a card on it before I say anything. This is like, I'm very shocked. This is triggering, all right? This is very triggering depending on what you deal with and have dealt with in your own life. You are not, this is someone who is crying out to you very strongly. What I am getting here is, if this is more of a heteronormative thing, this is a man crying out to another woman in the ether, all right? Or in the energy. If this could also be a same-sex partnership between, it's like 3 men that are having some sort of relationship here. Or 3 women, or it's like a polycule. Well, there's somebody who's not involved, like it's not a polycule. There's somebody who's not involved though. The viewer is likely the party who is not involved, because if y'all were dealing with Tower Devil, that would have come out like immediately, like if it was in the collective, right? And I would have felt more intense energy on it. It feels far away. So this is someone who you know, but you're not dealing with them. They have gotten themselves involved with someone, no matter what, like, okay, like this could be heteronormative, it could be queer. All right, but I'm going to say the thing for the more heteronormative situation, like first, because it is something that is a little bit less talked about. It's something that is a little bit more outside the norm for when we're talking about something like DV, okay? If this is a man, this Queen of Wands, this woman that they are dealing with, on top of all of the things that I have said to you, this person is also extremely like verbally abusive, but it is also likely that there has been some form of like physical altercations going on here where she is the aggressor. Like, I don't know if it's actual, like, this, like, I'm getting, like, this person, like, starts hitting this person. Like, a lot. And here's the thing. It's not enough to where, like, this person is actually, like, damaged from being, like, when I'm saying, like, damage. It's just, like, if this person starts hitting them, it's, like, they're not, like, something that they have to go to the hospital for, right? That's why it tends to be a bit, I'm saying more severe when it goes the other way around within heteronormativity. When a man is hitting a woman, that is like more immediately lethal is what I'm talking about. But even when a woman is hitting a man, first of all, yes, she can do very real physical harm depending on the sizes that are involved going on. But also, even if the man is not taking like they don't have to go to the hospital or anything, that is still an issue of physical abuse. And by standing there and taking it, and also the sense that like, I can't hit this person back, because that man would be like, if I hit her back, then like something could happen to me, like, or I could actually like kill this person. So I just have to sit here and take her hitting me. And this is a very, like, for someone to be dealing with that at all, you're talking about someone who's dealing with like a severe mental health issue or childhood trauma. For them to be dealing with that at all, because this is something that's been going on for a while, is what I'm saying. Like, this is an abused person who is like in a re-victimizing like thing, because they feel like they can't get out, they can't escape this person. That's not true, but because of whatever conditioning that they have, they are going to feel that way. This is like someone is in like deep, like learned helplessness. And it's just like, this is like the cycle of like someone abusing you, like physically, verbally, however it's going to be. And then they're like doing the like, oh baby, I'm so like, I know, like, well, and the whole thing starts all over again. So that's the perspective from the more heteronormative thing, but queer couples go through this stuff as well. Men abuse other men, and the femme energies get, like, it's not exclusive. And if we're talking about a lesbian couple, that goes on too. Like, domestic violence is not exclusive to like a particular gender or a particular like relationship style. Though I would say that, like, according to the science, right, because like when we're talking about cishet men, there is stuff, I don't, like, I feel like I need fucking sources for this one, but I have talked to like experts, when I'm saying licensed medical experts, licensed therapeutic experts, so you can take that for what you will. Because I asked, because I was curious, I was like, for my background, like, and what I dealt with, like, as a kid and everything else, to me, like, I'm curious as to why, like, I'm not, like, actually more violent than I am. Because if you, like, knew my whole story, you'd be like, what the, like, so I'm always like, how come I turned out this way, whereas someone else gets, like, way more violent? And so that's, like, when I have those sorts of conversations with people who are actually treating people, right, like, for really real, that's their profession. When they're talking about men, they are talking about hormones and more things that are intrinsic to biology. And so when we're talking about people being aggressive, the stereotype is that it's going to be men. And when we're talking about fatal instances, yes, the percentages are still going to be weighted more towards cishet men. That's just the percentage. However, just because that is the percentage, we don't exactly know why that's the percentage, right? Because yes, there is the thing with men and aggression and anger, which can be a biological thing. It's also a socialized thing. Because it's not like, just because you're a man doesn't mean like that's who you are. It's like, that's not true. But there are like certain things that men deal with, or male, like, you know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not gonna get all hung up about it. If you want to judge me for it, that's fine. But there's certain things biologically that people with like male sex hormones deal with, that people with female sex hormones and all of that don't. And I've heard trans people, like trans women, talk about their transition from that biological, like that hormonal signature to the hormonal signature of their preference, and they talk specifically about radical changes within their emotional state, and how and like it's like like the type of sexual hold, like the hormonal sexual hold that is on people with male biology as opposed to people with female biology or hormonal signatures or whatever. They talk very explicitly about that, so I'm inclined to believe them, okay? But I just don't want anybody to feel like I'm like confining them to like their biology or whatever. But there is also the issue of men not report. So there's that percentage as well, but like people who are socialized more as women, they tend to report more. Like women tend to report mental health issues more. Women tend to like reach out more like for assistance and stuff like that. Men don't do that. But not because they're like, the difference is the socialization. So we actually kind of don't know like how good the percentages are, because men don't talk about, that's the thing, I don't want to talk about what's going on with me because I am a man and because I am ashamed that I'm being abused by a woman. And so it goes unreported. And so we don't have those numbers. And so we think that it's not happening. It is happening. And it still might not be happening in the same percentages that it is happening like against women, but that doesn't mean it's not an issue, is what I'm saying, okay? So that's why I wanted to talk about it predominantly from that perspective, because for a straight man, yes, there is going to be way more shame involved there, because, and less reporting, because queer people still will tend to report more. Like, I don't know about queer like gay men. I don't know if the same things apply for them. But like I just think it's not the same if we're talking about a cis het man. Like that's like a different sort of thing, a different sort of stigma that they are dealing with. And it has to do with like misogyny and like queerphobia and all that stuff, because they're going to be like, well, I'm not a man. Like if I talk, like this means like I'm not a man. Like, this is so complex, but I'm just saying, like, on top of everything that I've just said, right? The person who they're calling out to in the energy is not the person that they would need to be calling, period. They need to be talking to someone who specializes in domestic abuse counseling. And also, depending on what they're dealing with, trauma-informed therapy, so they don't get into this cycle again. So I think that it's important just for the read to come out, just for like talking about that topic again, because it's important for everyone, no matter who you are, right? Like, because this person is choosing not to talk. This person is choosing not to reach out to anyone that could legitimately help them. And that's how things just get worse. And this sort of societal stuff is what holds people back. So what is the best thing that we can tell our Queen of Pentacles here, who is likely the viewer? The Empress. The Page of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune. I don't know who this person is to you. Who is this person to this Empress? The King of Wands, Temperance. I'm going to go ahead. If this is a partner, like a former spouse or someone you lived with, something like that, this is someone who would have like introduced a lot of conflict into your life. This is someone who might have made you feel like you weren't their priority. They also might have had like a blasé attitude with you. There's just other things. This is very much like, I have other things. And they were doing that. They were the King of Wands doing that to the Empress. And Salamander, this person might have had their own anger issues. I'm not sure. I mean, y'all would know. This is someone who, even when you knew them, was trapped in a particular cycle. That person is in a very, very deep mental stronghold, whoever they are. And they don't, there is something about this person not, with this High Priestess and this Temperance, this Eight of Swords, this person does not communicate, period. This would be the type of person where you can tell something's going on with them and it's relatively serious and they're never going to tell you what it is. This person was dealing with multiple things of which you had, you knew, it is likely you knew, but you had no idea because this person doesn't talk. They don't communicate flat out. Why does this person not talk? I've got Four of Swords and the World. It's just sort of that's the way it is. It's people don't need to know my business. People don't need to know my business. Why does the world need to know my business? This is my business. I don't know. But it's even from the people that they're closest to. It's you don't need to know my business. And it's just this person's very, very terrified of judgment, being judged, having it's something about having eyes on them, like the eyes of the world on them, the judging eyes of the world. This person likely feels persecuted all the time, no matter what's going on. That's just in general who, like, if that gives you a better idea, if that's like a family member or a former partner or a friend or something like that, that is the type of personality. Your best advice is the following: this is none of your fucking business, whoever you are. I've got the Empress, the Page of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune. You are headed into brand new, exciting things, and I am very sorry for whoever this like connection, this person was to y'all, because if y'all were close, I mean, I'm sure that's hard to hear about someone that you were close to. But it's like, this is like, focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. Especially if you've been the type of person in the past where you're like, oh, I need to help everyone. Because like the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles, it is very like mom, like I'm everybody's mom. No. And like, I think like if you were that person, like, you know that now. What can we do? Is there anything that the viewer can do, or I as a reader can do, about eliminating this energy? Because to me, this is also quite manipulative of this person. And that does, like, that's how this, like people don't understand how victims of abuse become manipulative. And it's not because they're sitting there going like, oh, I need to like harm this person. It's because they learned very young how to do that. And for them, they're like, is no what, like, I can't do it directly, because there was some sort of like negative, like very violent negative reinforcement that made them have to go the manipulation route. And so now they're just stuck in the manipulation route. It sucks. What can we do? This is almost kind of like, let God handle it. Like, I don't know that there's anything that you can do about like not feeling it in your energy is the thing. Like, I always say this, eventually it's likely going to taper off. Yeah, like eventually this is going to like, because I'm just saying, because I've pulled on this type of stuff before. Yes, you can offer compassion to it. Yes, you can do meditations. Yes, you can do like cord dissolving, depending on the type of relationship, especially if this is family. There, you cannot control what other people are doing. You know, that's unfortunate. And so it's just sort of like, you can recognize it for what it is and look, oh, I offer compassion to that. But you can offer compassion to it without like feeding it, is what I'm saying. You don't have to be like personally involved with it. It's like, oh yes, I recognize what that is. Go in peace. And it's sort of like, because I've got the 10 of Wands, like this person's doing a lot of energetic work to get this to present in your material environment. And what I mean by your material environment is that it's coming out in readings, or you are feeling it in your field, or you're getting it as like songs on the radio and shit like that. This person is doing concentrated energy work. 10 of Wands. It's a lot of work to get it to manifest in your environment. God will handle that, the Hierophant. Knight of Pentacles, it might be a little bit of a long-term process, but eventually, like, this is just going to go away. So like I'm saying, do what you want to do, but like, if you're feeling like, I gotta cleanse, and it's just like, it's not going to do much for anything on this other person's end. And you're not being guided to like send any sort of harmful energy to this person, but it's sort of like, focus on like your focus should be on your own work, on your own happiness, on your own good relationships. If you are still doing healing work, focus on that, and, you know, let the forces handle everything else. This is some sort of former relationship that was destroyed. Like, I mean, 10 of Swords on the, like, it is this other, whoever that wealthy man is, they had one cycle with you that they destroyed for something else, and now they are subsequently being destroyed. And I just heard, karma is my boyfriend, karma is my God. Karma is the breeze in my hair on the weekend. Karma is a relaxing thought. So let's go ahead and get some final advice outcome. And I'll put one Jesus on it and one Bob, because I don't know. I'm going to cut some of this out because I just feel like I went on and on and on about certain things. You got a past person trying to manipulate, or a family member is somebody you used to know, right? They're trying to magic their way back into paradise. And this person is doing some form, I don't know if they're doing magic as in like it's a spell or like it's like ritual work or an operation or whatever. But this person is like, they know what they're doing energetically. They went on TikTok, okay? And they know, here's the thing. With this person also, fuck this person, to be honest with you, the more I'm thinking about this person, why they're doing this work as well, this is consistent work that they're doing because they know you will pick up on it. They know that you have like high empathy, or you have empathy as a spiritual gift. They know you're a psychic. They know you watch readings. Yes, this is something that they know they're doing. Like this magician, Queen of Swords, the Sun, they are, first of all, you already know. I feel like I am telling you something that you already know, but this person is well aware of what they are doing, like magically. And like, I'm getting very much that like whatever was going on with y'all, this person like traded their birthright for soup. And I've got this 3 of Cups, like 8 of Cups. Like eventually this is going to stop at some point, because that 3 of Cups is also kind of, it's on a diagonal from this magician. I don't think this person's like working with anybody else. It's just saying like that's like coven. That's like the energy work that this person is doing. Eventually they are going to abandon it. And it's just like a reiteration of that message, because it's not going to work. They are not going to get that result. Yeah, it's just crime. This person, this is one of these people who is just going like, I hate that. Like, this is just one of these people that unless they like do something entirely differently, they're just going to be in like endless despair for like the rest of their lives. And it is their choice. They are choosing this. All right, let's get Jesus and Bob on it, because I'm just stressed out by the entire situation. And Jesus and Bob know it. Like, I don't know anything. Jesus and Bob know stuff. We got 2 Jesuses. Okay. Jesus, I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. This person needs Jesus, okay? Is what I'm saying. There are other resources for this person to use. It's not y'all, okay? You are not the one that this person needs. And I mean that. I'm like, if this person's atheist, like you don't have to like go the God route, all right? But if this person is open to that, you need God, not another person. If they're an atheist or an agnostic or whatever, you need a professional, not your past person, not your former partner. That is not who you need. You might not ever need them, like, period. You need to like spend a very long period of time not dealing with other people romantically. You need to focus on yourself. And I'm saying you, it's just like I'm yelling at this other person, the energy. Well, they can hear us. Yeah. Okay. Nothing shall by any means hurt you. If you are concerned about any of this person's stuff encroaching onto your actual physical environment, like if you are afraid of this person getting into contact with you, and who, because they have someone like literally like I'm not saying that lightly. This person is dealing with someone who is legitimately dangerous in some sort of way. If you are concerned about this person attempting to reach out to you, if you are concerned about this person's partner, like finding out something about you and targeting you, it's okay. Nothing shall by any means hurt you. You will not be put in harm's way for this person's stuff, all right? But here's the thing, what I get about that, very, very strongly, what I get about that is that potentially this person, like if you do end up like hearing from this person, right? They might tell you, like, because the thing is, I could see the person who they're dealing with, the abusive one, like if they figure out anything like about y'all, or this person is like thinking about y'all, or like has something on their phone or something like that, like like if they're on your social media or some shit like that, and their weirdo person finds out about it, like they could like say something threatening about y'all to like your past person, whoever they are. I could see them doing that. But it's like, it's not ever going to actually intrude onto your life. So like, if you're worried about that, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. That's another reason why this person will not reach out to you. They've got themselves in a situation. You can do anything you want to do in this world. You can, to an extent, but it is up to you. And that is a message about this person and about yourself. You are not involved in this. This is not your responsibility. You can do anything you want in this world. It doesn't have anything to do with this person. And also this person can do within reason anything they want to do in this world, but they have to make that choice. They can't be in this like learn to help, like I'm a victim. Like, it's not that they aren't being victimized in the situation, they very much are, but the thing is, there's like a whole bunch, like this is a very big gray area, because I guarantee you, if you are involved with this person within y'all's relationship, they likely in some way victimized you. So this is not like some sort of like black and white situation, and also in this relationship that they are currently in, like at points, they are the ones in the victim position. I promise you, like there's like a dynamic happening here, and it's not good for either person. But the thing is, they don't have to be that way. If they told somebody who could actually help them what was going on, their life would change. They are the ones who is choosing not to do that. So my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, I am unfortunately today, when we have these sorts of stories, your GM, your game master for this, the game of life. I am also, of course, the greatest magician of the age, and perhaps the greatest magician of all time. And together, you and I will perform the greatest magic trick of all time. We will reverse the polarities of the world, make America great for once, fly this boat to the moon somehow, shift our world onto the mega happy timeline, perhaps leaving it a much better place than it ever has been before. Because we are, my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, crawling on the planet's face. Some insects called the human race, lost in time and lost in space. End meaning.